I'm sorry to hear that that F diminished was causing your wrist trouble. So probably a good idea that you stopped. We'll do something else with chords today. Kind of test things out. Just need you to give me some feedback as soon as you can. So no need to wait for a whole week. Just let me know basically if any of the chords are problematic or if you can play them okay. And we'll kind of build things around that. So we'll get to that next. But you did great. Like, yeah, picking was great. You nailed it. Played it quick, accurate. So it was definitely a difficult one. And you did well. Absolutely. So here we got something, same rhythm every bar. Things are spaced out. Same thing we've done with chords. So basically, you got the rhythm written out two different ways. So we got this quarter note tied to the eighth notes, this eighth note tied to the quarter note, and then down here, instead of tying the quarter to 8, we just have a dotted quarter. And same thing here. So remember, a dotted quarter note is a beat in half. So when you dot something, you extend the length of what's dotted by half. So half of a quarter note is an eighth note. So a dotted quarter note is a quarter note plus the length of an eighth note. So you can look at it as a beat and a half long. You can look at it as 3/8 notes long. Either way, you get to the same result. So basically, we pick on the downbeat of 1, pick on the upbeat of 2, and pick again on the downbeat of 4. So picking-wise, try and keep some ghost strums going on to help you maintain good rhythmic accuracy. So basically, you pick down, miss, miss, hit the upstroke, miss, miss, down. So down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 4, 1, and 4, 1, 120, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeats. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that'd be a good idea to test some of these things out, as well as possibly teach some new chords. Who knows? You might know all of them now. So basically, when we work with major keys and minor keys, you have 3 different types of triad chords that occur. And that's major, minor, and diminished. Now, there's a 4th triad called an augmented chord, but that's not found in any major key or minor key. It is found in harmonic minor. You can use it as like a substitute or like a transition chord, but it's very, very seldom, very rare. People hardly ever use it. Like that's a G augmented chord right there. Very uncommon. So the diminished chord is odd and weird as it sounds. It is more commonly used. But of the three triads found in your major keys, the diminished is used the least. Most of what you're going to play is like major and minor based. So figure we'll just go through the 7 notes you'll have. It's just A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So not including any sharps or flats. And just make sure, or just see if you know them. Make sure you can play them. And just give me some feedback. Like, are you able to play all these okay? Are there any that you're having a lot of struggle with? You'll see with the F chord, or the different F types of chords, got some options there. Because you mentioned the wrist issues with the F diminished, we got 3 options for that one. And there's all kinds of ways to play these things, but like chord theory, man, there's just a ridiculous amount of ways to play these things. So, with that being said, because we started doing this because you reminded me about how like the chord accompaniment that you wanted to do while basically you want to accompany yourself while you're singing. So if there's like songs that you're working on that you have like specific chord progressions that are giving you trouble, maybe you want some alternative chord shapes or things like that, let me know. Send that stuff over, and then we can build some things around that. But yeah, so basically we got your A major chord here. There's 2 ways you can really hold this. So that's the way I learned to do it. Just stack your fingers up 1, 2, 3. I've seen another way of doing it where you put your middle finger down on the D string, then your first on the G string, and then your ring finger on the B string. So if you find that more comfortable, that's a good way to play it. It does feel almost like a little less cramped than this. So that's totally fine. You could do a bar and just not play the high E string. So you just play those 4 strings. Then your A minor chord. And then an A diminished. So just those 4 strings right there. B major, I always like playing it like this. Now you could do it like this, but I hate getting into that bar. I guess you could try doing it this way, like that A major. Yeah, that feels awful. Never mind. Some people are actually able to do a double bar, where they bar with the index finger and the ring finger at the same time. I can't do it. My fingers are like, no. That doesn't make any sense. So some people can do it, but that's rare. That's really rare. It's like you gotta have the right knuckle size and finger length and all that stuff. So I always opt for this B chord. And as you can see, my finger is angled quite a bit. It's not straight up and down like that. That's because I'm able to get it to sound fine like this. Which is basically that A major bar chord without the high E string. Just moved up a whole step. So you can play that shape all up and down those strings and you got yourself a major chord. Alright, then B minor. You can also play it like this. Just those 4 strings, that's a good option. But there's a bar chord for it. And the B diminished, you learned that one. C major. C minor. Just another bar chord, so it's the same shape as the B minor, which is the same shape as your A minor. And then C diminished is the same shape as the B diminished, which I believe you've already played. D major, D minor, and D diminished. So I'm barring with my index finger on the ones, and you could use your ring finger for that 3rd fret, but I find it easier to use the pinky. So I'm going to use the pinky. E major. Take the index finger off to get it to be E minor. So major, diminished. So you just got to go to those 4 strings, because the B note is not part of it. We're taking the B note in our E minor chord and flattening it to get a B or a E diminished. So yeah, you got your F major chord, which is the pain in the butt way. You could do it like this and just play those 4 strings, or as it's shown here, play the top 4 strings instead. So maybe that'll feel better for your wrist. That could be a good option for you. Same thing with the minor chord. So just like the E major, take the index finger off to go minor. Well, here we take the middle finger off to go minor. It's the same shape, just moved up. So we can do the same idea for the minor chord. Hold like that. So here's the one that's causing problems. So here's one that's a lot easier, I think. Just those 3 strings. That has the bare minimum 3 notes of making an F diminished chord, which is F, B flat, D flat. No, sorry, not D flat, C flat. Out of context, that's just a B, but in naming the notes for an F diminished chord, F flat, A flat, and C flat is the proper naming. Anyway, so yeah, that's an easier way of doing it. Just those 3 notes or 3 strings. If you want a little bit bigger chord, you could hit an A flat up here on the high E string. So it just sounds a bit more full. Of course, you can always play an F diminished over here as well. Take that B diminished shape and play it up there. And then G major, G minor. I always like using this chord shape as opposed to an open G minor, because you could take this and then flat the B notes and get that. But that is an absolute, I mean, there's a lot worse shapes, but I don't like that one at all. But that is an option, but typically you just play the G minor like that, and then the G diminished. So run through each of those and see which ones are okay. Let me know which ones are not. I think with the F chords, those will be the biggest ones in question. So let me know how it goes. And again, any songs that you are working on, chord progressions that you might need some help with, let me know, and then we can do some stuff based around that. All right, any questions, let me know. I'll see you again next week.